Hello, hello. Good morning. This is Henry Kramer, 605 Chaser. We're going to break down what is expected here for today, but this is going to be a day of all days that you need to stay weather aware. I'm not just hyping this up. This is going to be insane. Um, these days, let me just be frank with you. Um, for South Dakota and West Central, pretty much uh, western portions of Minnesota, even parts of Iowa, this is going to be a possibility of a long track derecho event today. Again, I'm not hyping it up. I'm not trying to fear monger. I just looked at the weather models all this morning, kind of different ones, and there could be embedded tornadoes in this. And so, take it from a guy that has lived through and chased a derecho. This type of setup is just pretty volatile. I'm just gonna be that way, and this is possibly going to impact areas of Sioux Falls as well. Let's get to the timing. Let's go ahead and break that down here for you. Um, when you guys, if you guys do not have your alerts set up on your phones and you do not have a weather radio to alert you of severe weather that's coming in, to, if you haven't gotten one, you better get one today. This is going to be huge. All right, so this is a look at the NSSL MPAS model, and I'm going to kind of run through here with the timing of everything. This was updated at 00Z. So this was updated later last night, but it is a model that I have more recently gotten involved with because it's pretty darn spot on. We're going to also take a look at the Rufus and the HRRR, and we're going to break this down for you and see what things are likely. So this is, you can see last night's fun, sorry, bad word, choice of words, craziness. But here's a look at 19Z. And so 19Z would be 2 p.m. As you can see, north central South Dakota starting to get things ramp up. But look at as this progresses along, you start to see the curvature. This is 21Z for today. So that would end up being 4 p.m. On the back side of this, hurricane force winds are likely as this front pushes through. So you guys could kind of see your counties. I wish I could do a better solid for you and get pinpointed down, but unfortunately, pivotal weather is really pivotal weather and a couple other ones, but none of them really have the graphic where the cities are in that. But again, the same areas are expected to be impacted today that was yesterday. Sioux Falls is going to be later in the day. Watertown, Brookings, that's going to be this afternoon, late afternoon. This is a look at 22Z, which would be 5 p.m. And this is a look here. Take a look. By the time you get to 6 p.m., Sioux Falls area, Brookings, you're getting huge impacts. And you could almost see, take a look at this. This looks like an eye of a hurricane for crying out loud. This is nuts. If we just circle it right here, it looks like an eye of a hurricane. So uh, take warning is all I can advise you. This is going to be a potent storm as it moves through. This is a look at 7 p.m. estimates here, and then it will kind of span out and eventually impact areas of northern Iowa before it dissipates into the abyss. That's a look at, let me back this up here, get my, so this is 7, this is 8 p.m. This is 9 p.m. Sorry, you guys can't see that. 1 second here. Make sure I could do that here. 1 second. There you go. All right. So let me back it up here for you. I know I'm spending a lot of time on here. This is, again, this is 5 p.m., 6 p.m., 7 p.m., 8, 9, 10 p.m., and we're looking at 11, and then midnight as it pushes further down into like Des Moines area. So we've got a lot to go through. So I want to show you the Rufus as well. Let's take a look at that. That was updated at 9Z, and then I'll show you the HRRR. Okay, we're looking at the same time frame. This one pushes, the Rufus puts it a little bit later in the day. This is going to be around 7 p.m., 6 p.m. actually. And as you can see, a little bit of a cell here. This is where we could possibly see some of that tornado activity start to ramp up, kind of in the Chamberlain area. So very concerning. And then as you get to 7 p.m. here, and then here's a few discrete supercells before that line starts to form. And this is a look at 8 p.m. Then we got 9 p.m., 10 p.m. That's all the further the Rufus goes out. So you can't really see it a whole lot, but one of the weather models suggests that it's going to be later, and then the impasse looks like it's going to be earlier. Let's take a look at HRRR, see what it does with that. And the reason why I'm showing you all these different models is there's a lot that goes into weather forecasting. You can't just take one model and run with it. You got to utilize all of your tools that you possibly can to see where the worst case scenario, but also more logical scenario is expected to have happen. All right, so we're going back to, so the HRRR is kind of putting this later as well. Nonetheless, it's still going to be potent. I mean, we got Reed Timmer that's going to be in South Dakota today. So when that guy comes, you know that things are going to get crazy. This puts it further to the east of South Dakota for that derecho event. But again, let's go ahead and remind folks where we have these risks. All right. Moderate risk is Gettysburg, Redfield, Huron, Watertown. Let's verify this has not been updated. Sometimes, no, SPC has not given a new update here yet. They will probably be updating this here within the next 5-10 minutes. I'll keep checking it though. But again, enhanced risk outside of that. So Pierre, Miller, you're in the moderate. Pierre, Chamberlain, Winter, Lake Andes, Mitchell, Sioux Falls, you're in the enhanced or 3 out of 5 risk. And then further west you go and south, that ends up being the slight risk with the 2 out of 5 risk for today. Let's go ahead and take a look at the tornado risk. We do have 5%. Again, I'm going to refresh this, make sure that the SPC hasn't updated this to 10%. Goodness gracious, I hope they don't. But Redfield, Gettysburg, you guys, Huron, Mitchell, Sioux Falls, you're in a 5%, 5 to 9% probability, which is basically a 2 out of 5 risk. And then we go over to the severe wind. We have a hatched area. This ends up being where we have 45 to 59, almost 60% probability. So if you're in Gettysburg, Redfield, Huron, Miller, Brookings, Watertown, this is probably the most prone area where you're going to see those hurricane force winds. On the outside of that, you don't want to discard it. Lake Andes, Mitchell, Sioux Falls, Yankton, again, this whole area that's in the red, those are the areas of the greatest concern. The red is the 30 to 44% probability of severe wind. We're talking a possibility of some significant wind. I can't stress it enough. And then as far as the hail isn't as big. Let's go ahead and make sure this got updated. There we go. This was updated at 7:25. So we do have the latest. They updated it a couple, about 10 minutes before I got the broadcast. So 7:25, this was updated. So this is the latest information. This is the hail risk that we have here, 15 to 29%. So while this isn't huge, just want to remind you, I guess you guys can't see it, but this was updated at 7:25. So this is still valid for today. They'll have another update at 11:30. I won't be able to bring that to you because I will be at work. So let's go ahead and break it down for you with respect to Radar Omega and see what we have on there. This is a satellite loop of over the last 7 frames. Let's play it through here. You can already see some crazy stuff towering over here in Dickinson, and that's just the precursor to what's expected to come. We do have some cloud cover to the west of Pier that's hindering some storm development from happening there. But once things get rolling, we could certainly see all this stuff. All modes of severe weather are possible today. Let's go ahead and take a look at the convective allowing, or the CAMs as we call them, and we'll take a look real quick at our significant tornado parameters with that, and kind of pinpoint where the embedded tornado risk is highest, in my opinion. All right, so southwest portion, if you're just basing it off of one model that I can utilize here, Worthington area would be an area of concern. Again, the risk is higher for the wind versus the tornadoes, but um, we could have a few embedded discrete cells. If these cells stay discrete longer, they stay discrete. There we go.
Severe thunderstorm warning has been issued.
Severe thunderstorm warning moving east at 35. That's up in McKenzie County, Golden Valley County, and Stark County, Dunn County, um, up in North Dakota. So we do have 1.6, 1.7 over by Worthington. That's a STP, or a significant tornado parameters. We also have this area of concern here, and this is pushing it later in the evening. But what we want to take a look at as well is the updraft helicity, and kind of see what if that's overlapping or not. The updraft, look at this. These are some just crazy numbers that are showing up here for updrafts. Let me back this up a little bit. This is where that big time wind is going to be, the big time wind threat, as well as embedded tornadoes. So this is putting it at 5 p.m., just starting to enter into eastern portions of South Dakota, northeastern portions of South Dakota. Some of the discrete cells, I believe, right here are going to have more of an impact for the tornado activity. This is probably just going to be a big old wall of wind. This is likely where that derecho is, but there could be embedded tornadoes into here. Excuse me. Let me take a look at the NAM 3K and see what that shows here. One moment. This was updated at 2 a.m. and it's going to be going through an update at 8 a.m., but I will not be on the live for that. So take this with a grain of salt. All right, so this still puts this about the same time, kind of entering around 5 p.m. So the HER and the, as far as max updraft helicity goes, I would say after 4 p.m., you definitely want to, if you're in eastern portions of South Dakota, you definitely want to make sure you're staying weather aware. Take a look at these numbers for max updraft helicity, 266, 346. So just to the west of Dells, this is putting it at 10 p.m. Let me back it up a little bit here so I can. So this would be after 7 p.m. these areas. Again, estimated. This is not a guarantee. Things could progress faster as derechos sometimes get pushed so quickly that this could end up being sooner. So just stay weather aware in your eastern part of South Dakota. Sometime after 3 p.m., I would stay completely weather aware. I can't pinpoint where a tornado is going to be today. I usually like to have my targets figured out, but today it's going to be a very difficult one because this is going to could end up getting wrapped into so much of this derecho that all areas are going to be under a huge risk. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at our current temperatures that we have. So right now we're looking at 66 for Madison, 66 for a dew point. The areas of Mitchell, 68, and a dew point is 65. We still got moist and muggy air all around here. Let's take a look over in Aberdeen area, 66 for a dew point, 67 for your temp. And after this, let's go ahead and take a look. Where is this relief? Where is this relief that you're talking about, Henry? Let me show you the temps here, 1 second. This is an estimate of what the temps are expected to do, so I'll show you that. You're really going to feel it after today's front moves through. See, lots and lots of heat over in Valentine, but look at this. You could already start seeing it right in this vicinity here, where it starts getting much cooler. I'll analyze that a little bit further. So you got 70, 80 degree temperatures, not too bad for 3 o'clock in the afternoon, but cooler. And then you got 60s right over here, but of course up in the hills of Spearfish, you got the 50s. Let's see if this cools down even more, which I do suspect that it will once that front really kicks up. So 60, come on, where's your big time front? There it is. Of course, that's 6 o'clock in the or 3 o'clock in the morning. I think this is going to be, this is a little overdone. I think it's going to be much cooler than what this is suggesting. That front is really going to impact this. So look at this temperature difference. We got 75, 73, and you got 100. So 30 to 40 degree difference for temperatures, you know something is going to happen. And that's a look at 5 p.m. today. So again, folks, this has been 605 Chaser, Henry Kramer. Make sure that you like and subscribe. I will be back for tomorrow's much more relaxed, hopefully, weather risks. But before I do that, I want to make sure that I show you the risks that we got for tomorrow as well while I'm on here. Let me shut this off and go back to live radar. All right, so the risks that you have here for tomorrow, marginal risk over in Sioux Falls, and then this pushes on over to areas of Madison, Wisconsin, pretty much the whole state of Iowa and Nebraska. And this is all likely going to go into a slight risk. Some of this North Platte, Lincoln, actually probably not North Platte, but Lincoln, Des Moines, Davenport, Madison, Chicago area, likely going to have that as a slight risk. Further to the west, I'm not really confident that this is going to get upgraded, but areas of Des Moines and Madison, Chicago areas, I do believe that's going to get upgraded to a slight risk. And then as far as tornado activity, less than 2% expected. Hail and wind, really low at this point. So depends on how much instability stays around. And again, for day 3, which would end up being your Tuesday or your Wednesday, this is again Des Moines, Springfield, St. Louis, Kansas City, those areas. Again, this is likely to be remnants of these fronts that pass through, and this is likely to have some area in here, probably more so the Springfield and St. Louis area, likely to have more of a slight risk. This would be upgraded if things play out how I believe they will. So that is the latest information that we have. Again, the major concern with today, tornadoes, embedded tornadoes possible. Your risks again for South Dakota. You even have those risks over into areas of Minnesota. Kind of give you a little bit more of a pinpoint for areas, Montevideo, Marshall, Worthington. Again, all these areas that we saw yesterday get impacted. Again, right here, that's smack dab. We got the 45 to 59% probability of severe wind. Again, we're talking close to, if not at, low level hurricane force type winds, 80 plus, that will be a large area and ongoing, long lived, that type of thing. And that's why we're pushing this so hard. So you guys have a great rest of your day. I hate to give you all the bad news, but sometimes that's what we got to do. Stay safe, stay weather aware, and we will check with you tomorrow around